We're live. What's up, everyone? Oh, Trevor's not visible.
No,
Trevor's not
that's just
visible.
what I look like now.
Oh gosh, it is a gray screen. Ah, well, apparently I can't put that thing up. That's okay. I'll put it on this side of the screen. It'll work out. Let's bake a cake. Um, I'll put it right here. There we go. There we go. How's everybody doing today? It's Thursday, November
Happy
something.
Thursday.
How are you feeling, Trevor?
Not too bad. You know, got more sleep than I usually do.
Oh, let's go. Yeah,
uh,
that's good. How has
now,
how has working with a young one in your house? How's that been going?
just take a few more breaks every once in a while. Sometimes show up to work a little bit late.
Uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh.
You know,
Well, I mean, working remote, you do
uh,
get to make your own schedule, right? So,
yeah.
yeah, for sure, for sure, for sure.
Thanks, chat.
And don't worry, man. Totally, yeah, it totally gets easier. It's not like Luca's going through a sleep regression right now, and I was up last night instead. I don't know how many months he's at, but it doesn't happen. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, no,
Well,
I'm
it'll be
sure those are
great.
just fairy tales.
Yeah, sleep regression is a made up. It's a made up term. I don't even think it's real. I think people just, they're just making things up. Anyway, today we have a very special developer stream. We're going to be going into some behind the scenes on Lorena's design, which we never really did this before because we never really had a character that people knew was upcoming.
Yeah.
Lorena, for those who don't know, is coming out sometime next year. One of the 4 slots for 2026. And we've been revealing some stuff. We've had Mend on to talk about audio. Um, I think Trevor, you and I did one as well already. Did we do one about Lorena?
Not about Lorena, no.
Not about
I
Lorena.
don't think
Okay.
so.
Maybe it was Jamie. I feel like there was another one I did with somebody. Um, maybe I made that up.
No, I
Maybe,
think you're right. I don't
yeah.
remember who it was though.
Where we talked about just things we liked about her in the contest.
Hmm.
So this one we're going to talk about um, what attracted us to La Reina, and then some of the design changes we had to make, right? Because
Hmm.
there's more attacks in Rivals 2, and somebody's got to make them. And by someone, I mean Trevor. Trevor has to make them.
Yeah.
But
No, I had hope on this one
true,
because the
true.
team was so excited about this character.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I would say on some of the other characters too, I would say it was like a mix between me and you who did the
Hmm.
specials. It depends on it really depends on if it makes sense to have something that's like integrated into the moveset, like Absa. I feel like I did
Hmm.
most of Absa's, um, or less integrated, um, like Raster. Um, I actually forget who
I
did
like how you
Raster.
say Raster, even though Raster was also yours.
I know, but I don't think any of his combined with anything else in his kit, right? Um,
Not really, no.
yeah, they're all like unique to them. Um, Rasters are cool, kind of. I just saw a note board about buffing his ledge special, so maybe one day.
Yeah, maybe one day.
Maybe one day. It's good in free for all and doubles. So if you like that, that's cool. Um, so yeah, let's hop on. We got a little Google Slides that we can go through for Lorena. So let me switch the view. Here we go. Let's hope that this doesn't hide Trevor if I do
No, that looks good.
this and then I go slideshow. And then let me grab OBS. Let me grab some of the chat too. Get over here, chats. So I can see you. So yeah, we'll probably go through this, then we'll do a little bit of Q&A time. Probably not go quite as long as normal. We're looking to end a little bit after 11 Pacific, so a little over an hour we'll go today. All right. Isn't she beautiful? First of all, visual design, I guess we can mention out the gate. Kinda tried to keep it close, I would say. There's some characters who had updates going from Rivals 1 to Rivals 2.
Like Forsburn.
Forsburn, Zetterburn.
Yeah.
Who else? Absa.
Mhm.
A lot of those were done by Mark. There's characters who didn't really have updates, like Rano. I don't think Mark changed anything at all.
Yeah, Raster. Yeah, I'd say most of them probably had no updates.
Yeah.
I guess Orcane got new eyes.
Orcane had a visual update, but Orcane kind of got it over time because that's also what he looked like in Creatures, right? Maple, I feel like Maple did have updates, but very subtly. Like she looks, it's just more fleshed out, right? Whereas like Rano really does just feel like he was translated over. I would say La Reina is, I guess, closer to like Rano, right? Like the art design that the workshop team did is really good.
Yeah, there's some differences, but it's mostly what you see is what you get.
Yeah, maybe it is actually closer to like a Maple because there is some details that, obviously it's pixel art and some things had to evolve, but yeah, they did a good job. So yeah, that's La Reina. Let's hop into the moveset. All right, here's some questions. I'll ask the questions. You can give first answer. I'll give second answer.
Okay.
What were your favorite things that originally drew you to her as the workshop contest winner?
So for me, it's the uniqueness of having an actual grappler. Because, platform fighters usually have like a grappler-ish character, but Lorena's like half of her moves are grabs grappler. Like, never seen that before. Also, her personality. It's just, magnetic.
Oh my gosh.
Also, the 50% of the team was voting on Lorena.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah. The last dev stream I talked about it a bit. Like Lorena was so liked that we were okay with like the overlap between Galvin and Lorena. Which is
they're basically the same element, but who cares?
Right. And it's metal and steel, that's what I keep saying, but no, what does that mean? But yeah, no, you're right. Yeah. Yeah, and then for me, I mean, we had a lot of favorites, right? I think I've said before that like I was pushing for Watsu. I know animation wise would have been crazy.
Yeah. More than just animation, that would have been the weirdest character to put in this game.
Yeah, for sure. But it would have been fun. The bubbles also, again, like anytime we do like multi, things like that, like bubbles.
And then I was a big Silica fan. I really like Silica. Such a cool character.
Yeah, but Lorena was definitely the most popular with the majority of the dead team, and then we had some like really strong, like Jamie, Joe on our team, Gabe. They liked Lorena the most, and they were also like her strongest soldiers. So each time we did a review and we did a conversation, like Lorena kept moving up the list.
And they always put the most effort into their like presentations on like why we should pick her.
And they also sometimes at night, like we would be doing work and or would be playing Rivals 2, and then they would be playing Lorena Dittos on stream. So
I remember that.
It was infectious, the Lorena hype. All right, let's move on to the next one. What was our thought process on staying true to a character like this that not only has another version, but also came from a different design team. So yeah, what was your goal and like how true did you want to stay when you
I
were
tried to
dictating?
stay literally as true as possible because I actually think they did a great job designing this character. I think her gameplay is just I don't know, it just works in a lot of ways. And we had to do some things to make it work in Rivals too because of new mechanics and all that, but a lot of it is just Rivals 1 and it's pretty fun.
Yeah, and they also updated this character like on Workshop, so there's like some gameplay problems that they already solved. One nice thing about
Hmm.
Workshop is like people would run tournaments. Like we even ran a bracket at Genesis using um, the Workshop contest entries
Oh
the one
yeah.
year. And Trevor and I think we
Yeah,
commentated it. Yeah.
we did.
Um, so people did get to see these competitively. So like one thing that was interesting was like not only stay true because we liked the design, but stay true to make sure we've at least given the Rivals One design like a fair shake, right?
Hmm.
I know like you had to go in and like go back and be like, oh wait, how does like this one specific move work in this one
Yeah.
specific scenario just to make sure we matched it? Because then if we
No,
still
that
have
was
issues, we can like adjust.
that was the hardest part was going through the Rivals 1 workshop code and like deciphering it and trying to translate it as one to one as I could for a lot of things.
Yeah. Which is
It's tough.
funny because like we in Rivals One, we remember some of them. We remember why we had to make certain decisions, right? Like
Hmm.
why does Crag Downbeat go through Clear Encounter and like some other like niche situations. Um,
Yeah.
but this one we didn't. So like matching it at the beginning was important because then we can when we do make changes, we're like more educated, I guess you could say.
More
Um,
experienced.
yeah. So yeah, it is. I would say yeah. Trying other than like the new stuff, trying to match pretty close. Yeah, which will be
Hmm.
fun because people who like the character obviously they want to hear that it's close. All right. How does the design process look for new characters in Rivals 2? Does the whole team give ideas?
Yes. Just
Yes.
straight up yes.
Yeah.
So I guess for Lorena, it all started with the slideshow that Jamie and Joe and Diego made, uh, and they had pitched just about everything, and a lot of it made it in. So but I think that's generally how it goes. Is there will be one base slideshow, and then people will add on to that, depending on the characters. Some characters get more collaboration than others.
Yeah, for sure. And then on like totally new characters, because this one's also kind of just asking in general. So
Mhm.
this one did feel like we were doing a returning character, right? And I even said on the last stream that I consider this a returning character in terms of like our
Yeah, I would too.
character makeup. So the collaboration, as Trevor mentioned, was on the slides that we were like, what are the left of like the attacks that we still have to do?
Mhm.
Um, this question does kind of say new characters as well. When it comes to a new character, there's a couple ways that a character can start. So we have a lot of design docs in our team share that we use. There are some character docs that are from a variety of team members, right? So like Trevor has character docs that he started. That is like a
Mhm.
character never seen before. Jamie, Vin on our team have characters. Um, I would still say
Yep.
like the highest odds is the original doc started with me because I was trying to fill an archetype that we know that we needed, right? Whereas I think as our team is starting from a position of characters that they would like, trying to create like the essence of that, right? Which may
Yeah.
not be an archetype that we're trying to slide in at a certain time. But then even if I started it, a lot of times like the style, the lore, the visuals, like other people will jump in. Like there's a new character that I have that I'm working on that's coming up eventually that like Vin has done a lot of who also made Hodan has done like a lot of help on, landing on the style and even like writing like some of the character story, things like that. Which is pretty exciting because it gives like I don't know, getting different perspectives on it definitely help push the characters in directions that like I wouldn't have pushed them necessarily.
Yeah.
So La Reina was the same thing, right? Where like Jamie kind of starting that doc and taking that initiative gave ideas that Trevor and I maybe wouldn't have done necessarily
Hmm.
on our own. No, we would have got there.
It also helps that I think some of the team are like actual wrestling fans, whereas
Mm-hmm.
I don't know anything about wrestling, so the references were lost on me, but they made sure that they got in.
Yeah, no, that does help because I'm also not like I had friends growing up who were like really big into wrestling, and then even like my wife's family, like my two brother-in-laws are into it, but I just know it through osmosis, right? Like
Hmm.
through other
Yeah,
people. So
yeah, or things that are big enough to get like into the general culture.
yeah, same. But yeah, Jamie and them, they do know. So that helps.
Yeah.
All right. Last question on this slide. What did we know we wanted to keep with her right away? So both moveset wise and identity wise. So what stood out right when you first played the workshop version is stuff you wanted to keep.
Uh, Basically, so what it ended up as is we kept as much as we could, but and to start with, when we were still trying to decide what all we wanted to keep, I knew I wanted to keep all the grabs, just because I think that's what makes her unique. Um, whether we had to balance those a certain way or not is kind of semi-related, but we tried to keep the move set as close as possible. And then identity-wise, I mean, why would you change anything about Lorena's personality? There's I would there's no reason. She's
yeah,
perfect.
yeah. Her personality is, the walk, the jabs,
Hmm.
those stood out to
Yeah, the
me.
chair.
I think for me too, I remember like when I first reviewed her, I was like, well, the chair as a projectile and as like a stage control, like I was like, there is a world where like she doesn't necessarily need this because like a grappler with this strong a projectile is like kind of crazy, especially like when you can like pull it and just like clip people. Um,
Hmm.
but then as soon as I remember testing and seeing her grabbing the chair and doing her throws and then getting the throw hitboxes, I was like, okay, well, she needs, like she needs this
Hmm.
because she's like a grappler then who
Yeah.
can like set up different things. So I remember as soon as I saw that, I was like, all right, the chair and her are both very important
Yeah,
to
and
making this work.
I think the original devs did a good job on making sure that the chair wasn't like too crazy of a projectile, because when she hits the chair and it flies across the stage, it doesn't have an active hitbox on it. So it's not like she can just smack the chair around and also smack the opponent around at the same time.
Right.
Yeah.
Although I do, that's a intuitive thing. I do think the down special needs a hitbox like a little longer than it has right now because right now it's just the melee, right? I don't think the chair has a
Mhm.
hitbox at all. Like I want to
No.
drop it on people's head like a little longer. So we'll see. We'll see. I kind of wanted to have like a spawn hitbox, right? Maybe or
Mhm.
something, so you can like because right now you got to be really close to hit him with the melee drop. But anyway, let's go. All right.
What do we got?
What did we want to change? So the first thing
Mm. Yeah,
Trevor has here, grabs are
we
OP.
couldn't make all the grabs regular grabs, because obviously shielding is important to the game. you
Right.
know.
You would
So if all
never
of her areas
shield on a
each shield,
platform against her.
no, which you still kind of don't want to. She's very good against that,
That's
because
true.
she still's got up special,
Uh,
forward special, up strong, and
yep.
those all do go through shield.
Yep.
We actually tested a version where the strongs were hit grabs unless you charge them a certain amount, and then they became regular grabs. But it was just too complicated, and it seems fine with them being actual grabs the whole time, because they have high startup, not a lot of range.
Well, it
You
was
know.
funny because we started with 50%. You had to charge them 50% of the way to be a
Hmm.
grab, and it did a little visual effect, and it looked cool. The thing was, that's like super long. That's like 50,
Hmm.
50 frame, or not 50 frame, 30 frames.
Yeah.
Crazy amount of startup. And like, yeah, as you mentioned, like it didn't need that long. So then we were like, okay, well, you only need to charge it 10 frames. So you charge it a little bit. Um, and you can go through shield. And even then we were like, well, the startup's already long, so we could just charge it one
Hmm.
frame. And then we at that point we were like, well, why do you need to charge
Yeah.
it?
Just get rid of it.
So even though the V effect was cool for like showing you that you now go through shield, we had this like little magnet charge like around whatever was grabbing. Uh, we ended up walking it back and just saying strongs and specials go through.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever try? I know right away we even in the early design doc we said aerials were gonna be hit grabs. Did you ever try though having aerials go through?
No.
Okay.
It's just so obviously broken because a lot of her aerials they're pretty fast. You know,
They
you
are
can
quick.
just jump up and do them unreactably.
Hmm.
So we don't need that.
Yeah.
I don't think the people want that.
I mean,
Or if they
some
do,
people do,
yeah, they do.
but then they also don't care. Those people may be similar to me, and they might be like, well, top level will figure it out. But no, it would be pretty toxic to
Yeah.
play against that for sure.
Yeah. It just breaks the main defensive mechanic of the game too much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But other than that, oh, also her strongs are special grabs. They're actually grabs and hit grabs at the same time. And the reason for that is so they can hit people and knock down. Because I feel like it'd be weird if they didn't people and knock down.
And that's just the strongs.
Yeah.
The other
So
two,
I guess the aerials also do because all hit grabs do,
right?
but the specials don't, which is
Right.
good.
Okay. Yeah. And then parry. All of these go into parry stun question mark.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I
Cool.
think.
So
You know
just
what? I'll check that, but I'm pretty sure they're
yeah.
all supposed to.
They're also by design.
Yeah.
Um, just her regular grab. Obviously, you can grab parry.
Hmm.
The rest you will get parried, just like other command grabs and special grabs in the game. You can parry
Yeah.
all of them right now. I'm pretty sure. Atlas up
Yeah.
air,
Yeah. Everything that's not a regular grab.
locks it on forward special, one field forward special, all parryable. All right. So that is which ones are hit grabs. Pretty clear. Like I said, it was fun when we had Strongs have this little like charge thing, but it ended up not being necessary. Definitely a Dan idea for like charging Strongs to get it, and it was cool, and it looked cool, right? Visually, it looked cool. Just wasn't actually necessary to, especially since
Yeah.
only two of them grab. It's forward strong and up strong, and they both
Hmm.
have pretty good startup.
Yeah.
All right, here's a question for you. Did we give her any other new tools or mechanics to expand her playstyle for Rivals 2?
We gave her more grabs. Does that count?
So we'll go through the rest of the move kit.
Hmm.
In terms of outside her move kit, yeah, I guess talk about like her weight and her properties a little bit in Rivals 2 and how that compares to Rivals 1 if you tried to match it or not.
I don't think I did try to match the weight specifically, just because I don't even know what the weight is in Rivals One, so it might be the same. But basically, I just put her where we kind of, we've been adding a lot of heavy characters like Edalus, Galvin, uh, and so I didn't want another super heavy. So she's, I think, one heavier than Orcane, so 101, and
Mm.
obviously that's subject to change before release, but that's what it is right now. So she's like heavy, but not super heavy. And then I think she's like an average faller, not fast faller, not floaty, which
All
further differentiates her from the other heavies.
right, so I personally wouldn't consider Orcane a heavyweight.
Hmm.
So right now in Rivals 1, he is the cutoff. Now, La Reina, if she's on 101, would you consider her the lightest heavyweight or the
Yeah,
heaviest middleweight?
I think lightest heavyweight.
Lightest
I think
heavyweight.
100 is a good cutoff.
Just because of vibes,
Yeah.
because she's a grappler.
Yeah.
Okay,
But
I've
then,
seen I see the vision.
yeah, other than that, I did match all of her movement properties. So, walk speed, run speed, all of that should be approximately the same as
Okay,
Rivals 1.
so playing as her should feel pretty similar,
Yeah.
and then getting hit might be a little different, but obviously everyone's
Which
different.
I was about to say that's the case for every character.
I mean, even Orkin having a bit higher weight, like he actually has I think the same weight values as Zetter. He just has that higher friction in air friction in Rivals 1, which
Mhm.
meant he died later off the side. So the slightly higher
Yeah.
rate is to like capture that without uh, making him broken in terms of how his hit stun works in Rivals 2 engine.
Yeah.
Um, was there anything we had to change to make her fit in the world as an official character, lore wise, element wise? Um, yes, a little bit. So this one was funny too because we liked their character design so much. The team that they did, we mentioned we tried to keep the character as intact as possible. We also then went in on basically just the Steam Workshop page, and we're like, we went to Ian, our narrative designer, and we're like, okay, like we need to fit this character into our lore a little more, you know, um, I don't know, not thoroughly, but like a little more captured into like the whole of Ether. But we
Mhm.
also want to keep as much as possible from their design document or from
Yeah.
their little narrative. It's basically like 2 paragraphs, I think, that they had up there. So we did try to keep a lot. So the story is that she's a worker ant who basically decided to rise up and inspire the people against the mining corporation that is kind of working her and her fans now um too hard. So we wanted to keep that. The one like change, I guess you could say, is like Badger Co is the mining company we have landed on, just because
Yeah.
Badger Co is very involved in that side of, right now it's like Fire Capital is causing most of the issues on the east side of the ether, and on the west side now Badger Co is causing a lot of issues over there. Um, so yeah, rising up against Badger Co, and then otherwise, yeah, a lot of it we try to keep intact. It's like its own location, kind of in ether where this was where her mind was, and where she's kind of set up this underground wrestling ring where they put on shows to kind of inspire all of Ether. And element wise, we mentioned that we already have Galvin, so kind of hammering in like, yeah, Galvin's this like ancient metal. He's a Ferrosaur. And La Reina has magnetism abilities, a little more modern steel, right? A chair that kind of looks a little out of place in
Hmm.
Ether. But that's because that's her signature, right? She's got the
Yeah.
steel chair. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I
that's her
think
update.
element wise though, it's we've had two characters who are close in element before, like Maple, Sylvanos,
Hmm.
pretty close. So these, it's not the first time we've done this.
Yeah, I would actually say these are that La Reina and Galvin in my mind are further away than like the dungeons characters are from like their base, right? Because like Fleet
Yeah.
and Raster are very close, but the idea is like Fleet is a bow and arrow combined with wind, right? And Raster
Mhm.
is just wind. Um, so I would say they're a little different, but yeah, probably around Maple Sylvanos, maybe even a little closer to each other than Maple Sylvanos, because Sylvanos was like grass and Maple was like vines, both like, I don't know,
Yeah.
plant life. Um, but yeah, okay, cool. Let's go to the next slide. All right, some new moves. First one we got is Get Up Special.
Yeah. This one's a real grab. So if you're shielding next to her while she's knocked down, you are safe.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, definitely the first time I've seen that. And it's a little scary, but it's true to her character at least. And it basically just swaps places on hit. It puts you in knockdown, and she's just standing right next to you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a fun one.
Yeah, this one's crazy because like in Smash historically, right? Like, as games with knockdown, run up shield is like a pretty hard counter, right? You can punish the get up
Yeah.
attack on reaction. You can also drop shield and react to any of the um, get up rolls. So this is the first time, I think, in a platform fighter where you were just throwing that out the window
Hmm.
and saying you cannot just sit and shield, willy nilly. You have to consider a grab. I will say though, in theory, there's people who are going to hear this and their brain is going to explode, right? They're going to be like,
Hmm.
you can't break, what are you doing, man? Like, this reminds me of like Rivals 1 breaking the triangle, right? Like, you can't
Hmm.
make a platform fighter without grabs and throws. Um, but in practice, I actually don't feel that it's that impactful as some other ghetto specials because, it's limited in range, right? And
Hmm.
it's still really slow if you miss. So, um,
Yeah, and it only hits low too, so you can like short hop over it with some characters.
mhm.
I
I
don't want to
was
say all, just in case.
I would say something like Galvin with his giant range is like more impactful in like an average match, right? Um,
Yeah.
but this one is surprising, and then yeah, it can get you pretty good reward. And it just fits
Hmm.
her design as the grappler. All right, and then Ledge
Yeah.
Special. What's that one?
Ledge special is basically we just wanted to make it look cool and feel cool to use. It doesn't it's not actually that much different from like say Clarence or something. She basically hits you at the table, which stuns you in place, and then slams on the table to launch you up. Uh, and it just looks cool and feels cool. And sometimes that's all you need.
Yeah, it's a pretty big hitbox too, and you get two
Mhm.
chances to hit them, right? Because they can,
Yeah.
even if they dodge the table, if they're still hanging out in the area, they can get hit by the dive.
Yeah.
Um, it's interesting because it's not a grab. So walk us through that thought process.
No, and actually, we were probably gonna do a grab if Galvin's wasn't just a grab right before this.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Plus,
we don't need them to have too many similarities. They already got enough.
well, it wasn't just Galvin because we actually ran into this with Olympia as well because we had discussed because she's got those big gauntlets. If they have an aerial forward special grab, then
Yeah.
we're like, you don't need a ledge special grab, because you can drop ledge, double jump, forward special.
Yeah.
So Olympia can do that, La Reina can do that, Loxodon can do that. So all three of them can do that, which means all three of them, it would kind of be
Yeah.
like overlap if you could ledge special grab because there would just be different timings at that point, right? That you're
Hmm.
mixing up. It's like not really a different option. Um,
Yeah.
so that's something that we thought about as well. I personally, I remember I wanted to give her an article that she only got through Ledge Special.
Don't worry. There's a slide. We'll tell them about that
Oh,
later.
okay. Okay, there is. All right, sweet. I
There's
wanted
a
to give
slide
her
for that.
like an article that's only gotten through Ledge Special, like Terry, right? Terry is an article that you can only get through
Hmm.
Ledge Special. Um, we discussed a couple options, but
Yeah.
never really anything that actually fit her kit and then made like would benefit her later, right? I think
Hmm.
the one that I liked the most was like it would spawn something and then it would stay there, but it wasn't like it was just for everyone,
Yeah.
right? It was just like a platform basically, like so
Hmm.
it didn't it didn't really interact with anything else in her kit, but it was just a cool one. Similar to it was honestly similar to the table where it's like a spectacle, more so than anything. But I
Hmm.
think
Exactly.
the table's fun.
It is.
Um, okay, let's keep going.
Yeah. Now we got
Ooh.
probably my favorite mechanic on Lorena is her pummel system. Uh, so basically, because she's a grappler, we wanted to make it complicated and very in depth. So what she can do is she gets to play the pummel minigame 3 times, and each time she plays it, the pummels get more and more threatening. Uh, with the third one just being actually ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so basically, and you can do them in any order. Like you can do normal pummel 1, special pummel 2, and then normal pummel 3. Just mix on mix on mix. It's pretty good. And so we tried to keep the special pummels 1 and 2 fairly simple, so that we could make special pummel 3 uh, like the craziest move that she has. Which there's a reason why we redacted it from the slideshow. It's because we don't want to spoil it.
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
uh,
Yeah,
yeah.
let's go through the pummels then.
hmm So
Uh,
the first pummel is like the little, the little punch that you always see in wrestling. And we actually there's a clip of it right there next to it. Um, and all it does, normal pummel deals 8%. Then if you do normal pummel 2, it's like a little gut kick that just does a little more damage. And then normal pummel 3, she grabs the opponent and just starts rolling around on the ground, dealing just incredible amounts of damage. It has full super armor, so it can't get interrupted. It's kind of ridiculous, and then it ends with you still being able to throw them afterwards. So it's a total of what 38 damage if you get all three pummels.
wait, we got full super armor and hitboxes. Do we have hitboxes on it too?
Yeah,
Good, good, good. So
yeah,
for
it'll hit
free
people.
for all doubles, you get to
hmm
mess everyone up.
Yeah, it's
Um,
pretty funny.
yeah, there's
And then special pummels. The first one just switches sides. The animation on that was actually really hard to get right. I was impressed when Diego got it. It was pretty cool because we never had one where the character that's getting grabbed has to swap sides and turn around and then end up in the right spot to get back into the grab, but reversed.
mhm.
That's a fun one. Then Special Pummel 2 brings them backwards. And that's important because her back throw is pretty good.
Yeah.
And then Special Pummel 3, you'll see. All I'll tell you is it deals 18%.
Yeah. It actually for a bit these numbers we're still playing with
That's
the
true.
damage. So the goal is people are like, "Oh, look how much damage this is dealing when you add it up." Each time you do this, you're exposing yourself to the mini game risk, right? So like the damage is going up because it's like, if you get a normal pummel in the first one, and then you normal pummel again, now going into pummel 3, you've already gone through 2 break opportunities. You get a third break opportunity.
hmm
So like the reward goes up, and then um, yeah, normal one. We kind of want to deal more damage because the special also has other benefits as well.
hmm
Um, the other thing about the special pummels, they're designed, both of them, that they are very useful, even uh, even if you throw after 1 or 2 pummels. Um,
hmm
so like switching sides is good if you're grab someone at edge and you want to back throw for a KO. Backward roll is also good and can be combined. So let's say somebody's at ledge and you grab them, but you're facing towards the ledge. If you hit them with the first 2 special pummels, you'll switch sides and then roll backwards, get basically right up on the
Yeah.
edge, and then back throw. Um, so that's like pretty fun. The main thing is though, people are going to be scared of like, I think a lot of people still just be hitting special, right? If they're rivals players, they'll probably just be mashing attack again if they come from smash. So you got to be aware of that. But this will definitely force people to have to play the game. You can't just, I think a lot of people in rivals still to this day, when I go on ranked, there's some people who are just never breaking until you,
hmm
hit them with a couple of pummels and then they'll start. I think with La Reina, you basically have to be hitting a button when you get grabbed. But
hmm
the good news is, after you hit by 1 pummel, there's basically going to be no one that's not hitting one of the 2 options because
Yeah.
you have so much
There's
time.
some downtime between the two pummels.
Mhm.
Like she does a little animation between the pummels. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, so I would say like in our playtesting, like 1 pummel is pretty common. 2 pummels isn't likely, except for the people on our team who are stubborn, and like there's some people who only break special. So then you can sometimes just get all 3 normal pummels on them and rack up a ton of damage because
hmm
they're never gonna go off of special, which is fun. It's fun to deal a lot of damage to them. They deserve it.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else about the pummel mechanic?
No, not really.
Yeah.
Next is throws.
All right.
And because of the pummel mechanic, we made all of her throws have pretty good amount of startup, just so you don't have to think about how do I DI this throw, this throw, this throw, and also which special pummel, normal pummel, which one should I break? Uh, yeah, we tried to simplify that a little bit. Um, so her throws are honestly pretty standard. I think her up throw is pretty similar to Galvin's actually, which is funny. Her back throw is like the spin throw that can kill at high percents. Forward throw, just a drop kick, and then down throw puts him on the ground.
Wait, you said
Um,
pretty similar to Gavin. Did you give us a third you have to
mhm,
DI in to have optimal DI throw?
of course.
You know
Yeah,
what's
I
funny?
need to get you used to it.
I've played her a bunch and had not thought of it. I was like, oh wow, this up there is just really good at comboing. I like hadn't really thought about the eye. Oh my
Yeah.
god, I have gotten used to it. I against Loxo now, I am pretty good at low percent DIing in because he doesn't really have a mix without lava
Mhm.
or kill damage on F throw, but it's still crazy. Those up throws are so good because so many people are just always holding out when you get grabbed, right?
Mhm.
Oh my gosh.
They'll learn.
They're gonna learn. You're right. Um, wait, did you do all four, or is there?
Yeah. And so down throw is kind of like Loxodon down throw, but you can tech it. It's not untechable like Loxodon's is.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess back throw while she's swinging you around, it does have a hitbox, so it can hit opponents. So if somebody tries to interrupt you in doubles, you can do that.
Yeah, like the Mario Brother throws.
Yeah.
Does Bacto also have super armor?
No.
No.
No, no, no.
Okay.
Just the third pummels.
Okay. What's your favorite throw on her?
Um, Animation wise, back throw, and then usefulness wise, up throw.
Yeah. I would say one thing that's different from her is like in Smash at least, a lot of grapplers, well not grapplers, but like characters that go for grabs a lot are fishing for like a
Mhm.
kill throw. She
Yeah.
doesn't have like a true kill throw, but that's because like we do kind of want her using all of her grabs, right?
Hmm.
Like up special is a KO throw,
Yeah.
for example. Um, so like back throw does kill eventually in right position.
Hmm.
But we didn't want to give her like an up throw that kills off the top regardless of positioning. We wanted to give her like a combo up throw so
Hmm.
then you actually see more of her kit. Um, especially with the damage she's dealing from pummels. Like if you could get someone, you know, what, 40%, 38%, and then kill them with a up throw off the top, and they literally DI doesn't matter because it's off the top last end.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound that fun. Um, so yeah, that's why she has the throw she has. Animation wise, I mean, up throw feels really good. The smack. I'm
Hmm.
trying to think which one's my favorite.
Forward throw.
Um,
I mean, really, I just like her animations because they all have that personality. You know,
mhm, yeah,
they're all very La Reina throws.
yeah. Forward throw to me, it's funny. It really does feel like Crag forward air, but on a throw.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess they have some similarities.
Yeah, Crag's got a little, he's the El Bastion de la Terra or whatever. Uh, so he's got a little wrestler influence as well.
Hmm.
He learned from the best. Cool. Anything else about throws?
No, not really.
Sweet. All right. Some questions for you. And then we'll open up to chat. Uh,
Hmm.
is it true that she might be the most rivalry rival yet? I guess that's the first question. Is she the most rivalry rival yet? I don't know what that means, but how do you feel about that?
Trying to think, is she the most rival yet? She is definitely unlike anything in any other game, I will say. Like, I don't think there's a platform fighter character that's really like her that much.
Hmm.
So maybe.
I
Although
know.
Orcane's kind of the most rival.
Yeah, yeah, it really is. I know Men was hitting me up when he was like just hooking things in for sound, being like, this character's like so different because of just the amount of windows that like can and don't, there's a lot of windows that only spawn if you grab them and
Hmm.
hit them. Um, which is good, right? It's like good to have characters that have like different, their programming looks different because their gameplay is so different, right? From other
Hmm.
characters having so much of their kit being a grab means like they basically have, for people who said they want to see uh, hit canceling with flag come back. Here is a character that basically has that built in, right? Because so many of their moves are different on
Yep.
hit based on grab, which means they have different frame data, right? So like whiffing an attack is different than hitting an attack when you have
Hmm.
a grab. Um, so that's kind of interesting. Here's a follow up question: what part of how she plays in Rivals 2 will surprise her fans the most?
Surprise. Um, I'm not sure. I guess she has a lot of depth that they might not know originally. Like I know she can use her chair for a lot of cool things, like when recovering. She's got the pummel system. I'm trying to think. Maybe they'll be the most surprised by how much stayed the same. Because
Yeah,
I think it's maybe the most that stayed the same for any character. Maybe. Maybe like Absa. Absa didn't really change much.
I'll say the part for me that will surprise people the most is um, how little all the stuff we just talked about ends up impacting an average match. So like we talked about all the new stuff, but when I played her a bit and we did a dev tournament and I played as her, I did use the pummels a lot against, especially people who don't play as much. But as I got later in bracket, like I got one or two pummels broken, and I just like went away from the pummel game because like she does have good throws. She has combo throws, right? So it's like you really want to get that up throw off so you can like start your own combo.
Yeah, but even then, the up throw is also kind of a knowledge check. Because if they DI away, I mean, you might get something, but
That's true.
it's not
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah. So then the one that I use that I do the most is like this ledge special, just because it's like a pretty big hitbox, and I have it I probably ledge special too much because I play Maple and where it's a low risk one.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, like I said, a lot of them seem crazy on paper, but she definitely like I feel like for me like the chair is like I was using that a lot more neutral than
Yeah.
any of like the going for grab pummel kind of stuff. Like especially adjusting the chair position is like can be pretty common depending on your play style, and it's pretty fun.
Hmm. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, because she has so many grabs, she's actually really good against floor hugging and crouch canceling. I think
Yeah.
people like that. I have a feeling.
Yeah. I would say, like, for me, the other thing too, the funniest or the most surprising moment is the first time in Rivals 2 I saw F Strong grab a chair and then kill somebody.
Hmm.
The landing hitbox from F Strong, because F Strong she grabs with her like mandibles and she jumps, and you can do it to a player in Rivals 1 or a chair. That also works in Rivals 2, but something about grabbing an article and then having a hitbox that could kill with it,
Hmm.
really kind of blew my mind. And it was like, oh yeah, this is gonna be people are gonna cheese with this for sure.
Yeah.
But it looks awesome. Um, Okay, any fun details or callbacks in her kit or voice lines fans might notice?
Mm. Uh, she still has that taunt where
Hmm.
it's like posing for the camera, and you can just repeat it over and over again. I
Yeah.
always like that. I'm trying to
Yeah,
think of any callbacks.
you had to set up the code for that. How did that taunt turn out?
That's fun.
All
That
right,
is pretty good. And
let's go.
then
Yeah.
voice lines, we don't have those yet.
Oh, we do, just not in game yet.
Yeah, I haven't heard them yet.
I would say, I mean, I wrote them, so there's some funny ones. You have to see. The one thing that's interesting is we definitely wanted to lean into like the luchador inspiration. Um, so like not only did we put out that call that we're looking for voice actresses, we definitely wanted someone who could speak Spanish and had like Mexican heritage as well. So like that's something that was like important to us for finding a La Reina voice actress. And then yeah, this will be the first character in Rivals 2 that speaks more than one language. La Reina speaks both Spanish and English and will have lines in both, and even has a couple lines where she jumps, she hops. But the good thing is we have a couple Spanish speakers on the team, and the voice actress gave us feedback. So we made sure when she's jumping, it's not like me in high school speaking Spanglish. It's like natural the way people would jump, except for one line that I did force through, and I'm
You
not going to
did.
say what it is yet
Oh
for
my
a self
god.
KO. There is one Dan Spanglish line that is amazing, and people will love it.
Some could say it's amazing. Others, however,
Um, I think everyone agreed, including the voice actress, that it was just masterful. Anyway, yeah, but we did try to make sure it feels very natural, and that'll be fun. So that's also like kind of part of her world building as well, right? Where she's from, there's going to be yeah, kind of multiple language and dialects that people in Ether are speaking. So there's at least one other language, um, which is exciting. Um, any other fun details? Um, there was one as when that I was thinking of other than voice acting when we first brought it up, but I forget now. Um, no, I can't think. So there's something else.
come back to it.
Yeah, if I remember, it'll be
Yeah.
fine. All right, here's a question for you. How does she fit
Mhm.
into the overall Rivals 2 cast and the future meta?
I think she is the future meta because when she comes out, I think that's going to be the only character that you're going to find online for quite some time.
Hmm.
But
She
I
does
don't know.
remind me of Olympia in that regard, in that, like, I think she will be very popular
Mhm.
out the gate for sure.
But then where in the meta will she land is probably the least certain I've felt about any character that's released so far, because she just has a lot of grabs, and it's going to change how the game plays pretty significantly, I'd say. Enough to where we just need to see how it shakes out.
Hmm.
Hopefully, she ends up pretty good spot though. I think she will.
Yeah, it's
I
funny
won't.
because the chair also mixes things up, right? It's kind of
Mhm.
like Galvin didn't have his neutral special projectile. Like he would be a lot different. Honestly, Galvin's neutral special projectile might need a little bit of fine combing still, because I've seen some high level matches where the Galvin was committed to keeping that thing out, uptime 100%, and is not the easiest thing to parry, and it's like actually pretty legit strategy. So we'll see where that one shakes out. But the fact that she has chair, right, and she can reposition
Mhm.
and place it means I was thinking about her because as we were working on her, I watched one of the Japanese majors was happening, and I caught it because I worked too late at night and it was on at like 2 a.m. And one of the top three matches was Ryu versus Steve. And as I'm watching this, I'm like, wow, this is really like a rivals character, Steve, unfortunately for me, versus like an honest, fighting game character just trying to get in. And like the way Ryu has to play in that matchup, in Ultimate at least, is like so careful, so like so many good decisions to like get in. And then like once he was able to get in, like the stocks were evaporating, right? Like, with the shuriken and the other kind of kill options. I would say it doesn't feel as, it's not going to be as deliberate and as grim as that, right? Like it doesn't feel like as like one mistake in this minecart, or block or whatever takes you out and you're done. It doesn't feel like that where you're playing like Galaga and you have to be perfect. Because Lorena still, like I said, has the chair. She has these movement options with her grabs. But there is a little bit of similarity, right? Like you do feel like I am a quote unquote honest grappler. That might be a oxymoron. But like I'm in a game with all these characters doing all these crazy, character specific mechanics, and I'm just an honest grappler trying to get in. You might feel like that in some matchups. Like you really feel like in your head, like you have to outplay them to kind of get in. But it's not as extreme as it could be, right? Like it's not like you have to play really methodical. I think you have the opportunity to be a little creative and do some mix-ups. But the similarities are there in that if she does get in, you can get a lot of damage really fast, because not only does she have these grabs, but she has like combos into grabs that can lead to KOs at pretty early percents.
Very early percents. She also, I just think the chair really brings her moveset together. I think without it, she would be garbage. Like, actually the worst character in the game.
Right, because she can't beat, she can't beat like projectiles or anything. Like a lot of the grabs just get hit. So she would just have really trouble getting in. I think she would still have, compared to, like I mentioned, Ryu. I mean, he does have the Tonkatsu, or, but like he kind of has a little bit harder to get in. I would say more like Incineroar, right, without the chair, where he does have the burst ways to close distance, but it's still, you don't have your own stage control.
Yeah.
How much do you use the chair, Trevor, when you play?
It's my only move. I also think it's necessary to recover. Her recovery is not very good without the chair.
Wait, so are you it sounds like, are you someone who keeps it out, or are you the person who always is putting it back so you can get the end special back?
I'll keep it out. No, I want to keep it out. It's good whether the only time it's bad is if it's on cooldown when you're trying to recover. Because the cooldown's pretty long. It's not as long as the Rivals 1 cooldown, though. I think the Rivals 1 cooldown was 8 seconds when the chair went off stage before you could summon a new one, which is like the longest cooldown in the game by far.
Yeah.
We shortened it quite a bit. At least half. I don't remember what number we actually landed on.
But if the chair's out, you're running the risk of, you can only do your downbeat to it if it hasn't been hit recently. And I've noticed it's really easy for an opponent to.
But if they're hitting your chair, they're not hitting you.
I know, but like a lot of times there's distances she gets at where like if she can't downbeat and you can't spawn a new chair and downbeat, then you're gonna die. So like having the chair out is risky in that you open yourself up to being stopped by someone hitting your chair, right?
Yeah, I do think her recovery is the best when she has the chair available to spawn. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I think it's the safest. I think like if the chair's on stage and they can't get to it, then having that free,
that's pretty good. Yeah.
Bar down B is also pretty good. Okay. Cool. I guess in terms of future meta, I'll ask you this. How would you say her recovery stacks up in compared to the other rivals right now?
If she has the chair, it's probably pretty good. Also, recovery is the hardest thing for me to like compare between characters before the meta for that character's actually, because people are gonna find stupid stuff with this chair. I already know it. Um, but I think her recovery without the chair is like maybe the worst. Maybe not. It's probably among the worst without the chair. And then with the chair,
Yeah.
I actually think it's pretty decent. It's just if the opponent gets rid of the chair at some point, it can be pretty bad.
Yeah, it's funny how similar her and La Reina, or sorry, her and Olympia ended up. I mean, she's now, it doesn't fall anywhere near as fast, but like La Reina's
Yeah.
gem and the chair do have some similarities. We didn't even know about Rat Trick until we did beta testing.
Yeah.
Um, but the chair one we were doing that in the developer tournaments before. I forget who, it was probably Menace Luke was the first one. I think it's in Rivals 1. You can do it as well. You can neutral special the chair off stage and then down B to it.
Yeah.
Question mark. Hopefully the frame data in Rivals 1 works out. But
Mhm.
somebody did it in a Rivals 2 dev tournament, and then we were all trying it. But what we learned was it's not that it's tight, but it is like it is a little like, yeah, you can mess it up and die. So like you do have to like get the neutral special and get the down B out at the right time. And if they hit the chair, then the down B can't go, and then now you're
Yeah.
down
If they
B.
hit the chair, you're kind of screwed.
Mm-hmm.
So I think some characters will be better at edge guarding her.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Were there any Dan ideas that we cut or decided to keep?
This is the question that I was alluding to on the ledge special slide. Go ahead and tell them about your ledge special idea.
Okay. So, like I said, I wanted an article. So we had a couple ideas, but the one that I was pushing for the hardest was a ladder. So she was going to climb up a ladder and it would spawn it. It would spawn and it would have a platform on it. So it'd be like probably a thin platform, maybe even thinner than Merchant Port Plat, which is like very thin.
Yeah.
And then she would jump off of it and do a body slam onto you. And that attack would be pretty big and like, I don't know, it would just have a big hitbox. So kind of like a raster ledge special hitbox, right? Like just kind of fun spectacle. But it would leave the ladder on stage. And Trevor's like, why? And I'm like, well, because I just want her to have like a new article that looks cool and is a spectacle, and it like leaves something behind. Yeah, she wouldn't really have any other thing else that like, yes, you can go back and stand on that platform and you could dash attack off it, I guess. So you could do a flying elbow later off of it. But that's kind of it, right? Like she doesn't have even like up special. You're like, well, you can land on it with it, but even then it's so thin that like, every
Yeah, and
stage
you wouldn't
has
want to land on it because
yeah.
the further you go with up special, the more
Right.
power it
The
gets.
more power it gets. So yeah, there wasn't really any synergy after that. It was more like, let's have something cool. The other thing too is it was a asset that would be new and then would have to, on especially epic skins, would have to be remodeled.
Yep.
That she didn't have. So that's another reason we didn't like it. I did think about some other ones too. Some like I was like other articles that she could spawn, but nothing got as far as the ladder. The reason we ended up pivoting to a table though, we were like, okay, well, our team doesn't want to make another La Reina article. So we went through like the ones that we already committed to because from her Rivals 1 kit. And the table is in there because there's this offstage thing that she has where if you grab someone and you land off stage, the stage comes up to meet them. And that's something that the original designers had made on La Reina, and it's super sick. And then if you do it again, it's like a table comes out and it breaks. And then you go into, do you go into Special Fall?
But for the table, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
So
table you do.
so you
You can
can't,
still wall jump after, but yeah.
right. You can't just like keep up specialing someone off stage and like for in perpetuity.
And then, yeah, as soon as you get away from the wall, yeah, you can't do that anymore.
So we were like, okay, well, if we have a table, we can reuse it for a ledge special. And that's how we came up with that. So I would say it still has like a similar threat range and a similar spectacle to what I was anticipating. But it's not an actual like stage control article, right? It's not something that
Yeah.
lingers beyond the interaction, which I think is okay. I think it's still a fun enough move that people will like it.
Hmm.
Feels very
Yeah.
wrestling-y.
It is. It's fun to use for sure.
All right, here's a question for you. For new players,
Hmm.
how hard is a character like Lorena to pick up?
I actually think not too hard because she's got a lot of moves that are, slow, like single hit combos followed by, that give you time to follow up on the next combo. It's not like you're, mashing buttons on somebody's shield or anything. I will say her recovery is probably going to be pretty difficult for newer players, but eh, there are some of the tricks you can do with chair are easier than others. So I
Yeah.
think I think maybe they'll learn like the easiest one and then just use that one and it'll be fine.
Yeah, she
But
doesn't
yeah,
fall as fast as Olympia, so that will help.
very much, yeah. Other than that, the rest of her stuff is pretty straightforward. Um, and also, again, she ignores or not ignores, but has a lot of moves that counter some of the defensive mechanics that are harder for new players to deal with, like floor hugging. So I think that'll make her pretty popular at low level too.
Yeah, because all of her, obviously her strongs go through anyway. Special grabs will go through.
Mhm.
Even all of the air, a lot of her aerials are hit
Yeah, I think all of
grabs.
the aerials will pick them up off the ground,
Yeah,
which is crazy.
except for Nair.
Yeah, Nair and Fair won't, but
Oh yeah, because
I think
well,
Fair's kind of strong enough that it
yeah,
doesn't matter.
Fair is pretty strong. I mean,
Yeah.
Fair's even if you CC it at low
Mhm.
percent, you're probably getting pushed back enough that you're not getting, your easy follow ups, right? The other
Mhm.
person because it's got pretty high knockback. So yeah, she will be pretty good. She does have some quick tilt, which are hilarious and have good frame data and can be
Mhm.
floor hugged. Luckily, because like if
Yeah.
you couldn't floor hug
That down tilt.
La Reina's down tilt from Rivals One. Let's say floor hugging wasn't a mechanic in the game, then like there'd be some moves that would, something like La Reina's down tilt or Olympia's down
Mhm.
tilt would either be very different or it'd have some other counter. I'm not even sure. It would have some
Mhm.
kind of way that this move isn't just like completely oppressive.
Yeah.
Um, because you've seen if you've watched tournaments, you've seen what happens when people don't floor hug Olympia down tilt and what she gets out of it. A lot of stocks can end that way. So imagine that was all the time, and you also moved forward
Yeah.
when you did it. So if you miss one, you just do it again. um, that would be low rated down tilt. So just imagine. But luckily, you can you can floor hug
Yeah.
it for pretty significant percent because I don't think it has a ton
Mhm.
of scaling.
Yeah.
And the follow up question to that is: did we have any specific design goals in regard for our first grappler in terms of how hard or easy she was to play?
Um. Yeah, I think so. I think in general, grapplers in games have a pretty low skill floor, and I think that's something we wanted to translate as much as we could. I think that's pretty important for a character that's this like for the people personality too. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you can't be for the people and then also be really hard to play. That doesn't work out like that. Um, but I think she still has the depth of a rivals character where top level arenas are going to be doing stuff that's really difficult. I'm sure.
Yeah, I would say like one thing that's nice about her too, beyond just like a grappler having, you know, um, a lower floor is like everything on her is pretty intuitively placed, right?
Hmm.
Like all the specials go in that direction or like um neutral specials or projectiles. So like that feels really good. Um
Hmm.
the only thing that we still need to work on, I think, intuitive wise, is when you can downbeat a chair. Like that needs to like we need to
Hmm.
make sure that the chair off state. Like I think Rivals won La Reina. I feel like they improved it over time, but also like I don't remember which versions we've played, right? Because like they kept updating it.
Hmm.
But I feel like it did the readability did get better over time, and we want to make sure we're at least at that level. So
Yeah.
we'll probably keep tweaking like when the chair off state. Right now, I think in Rivals 1 it like gets darker and it
Yeah.
like lights up. Just making sure you can quickly tell, like, if you can see the chair on screen, you should be able to know, can I currently down B to this or not? Because there
Mhm.
are times where you're not sure. You're like, hey, like, I felt like I should have been able to down B, but I didn't. Um,
Yeah. And I tried to make sure that you don't SD from doing that. So whenever you do try to down special and the chair's not ready, she does get like a little tiny boost. It doesn't go far at all, but it's enough to where you won't just, fall off the bottom blast zone
yeah,
after
kind of
fast
like
falling a down special.
the Loxodont chargeless down B
Yeah,
stall.
yeah, kind of like that.
Yeah, I think that'll help. So, like, just those types of improvements as well. Like, just making sure that all feels good because honestly, I'd rather if we get to a spot where like she gets better because of these concessions to make her more intuitive, I'd rather go
Mhm.
that direction, right? I'd rather like nerf other stuff and make her easier to play for new players than be like, oh well, we can't do that because she's too good. This one move is too good out of it, right? I'd rather be like, no, let's just like nerf that move and make sure that she makes sense.
Mhm.
And I think we're pretty close. I think for me, the only thing that's really left is just knowing when you can. Actually, there's two, because also knowing when the chair has a hitbox is still a little confusing, right?
I
Like
think
we,
it's I think it's always spinning when it has a hitbox.
right. And then, so just making sure that part's clear, and then
Hmm.
also when you can down B. Those are like my two. And I think we'll have it in a good spot before launch because we're like already working on it. Sometimes with some characters they launch and then we have to like improve some of those things, right? Or we add a HUD element, or
Yeah.
both, or both. All right, so we're going to go, I guess, a little bit over because I like to do at least 10 minutes of questions. Um, so yeah, let's open it up to chat questions. You can ask about La Reina, game design in general. We'll probably do 10, 15 minutes, get out of here before 11:30. That's our normal runtime, is about an hour and a half.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, put
When it
your
said,
questions
does
in.
dash attack still spike? Yes,
Mm-hmm. Hashtag's
it
pretty
does.
fun.
Yeah,
It
it
goes off
is.
stage.
It's good on stage too.
Yeah.
It's just good in general.
Um,
Does she still have the offstage crowd mechanic? Yeah, it works the exact same as Rivals One. Let's see. Uh, do the chair grabs have unique animations? No, it's just her grabbing the chair. So, what was it? There was a change I made on the live branch of probably a month or two ago, where Loxodont grabbing his meatball with his side B. Uh, I don't think anybody noticed it because in the game it's not any different, but it's technically translated. It used to be a Loxodont specific system, and now it's a universal system to where any article can be grabbed. So Lorena's side B, for instance, can grab any article that's flagged as grabbable, which includes Loxodon's meatball. So you can do a lot of cool stuff like that.
yeah, let's go. Wait, what about
Hmm.
Crag Rock? We gonna extend this logic?
I think it's also Crag Rock, yeah.
Well, right now it's not because you can't. Can you grab Crag Rock with Lockdown Side B? It was on stage,
No, I don't think so.
but could
And I
we?
think I did that because Lorena's not out yet.
Okay. So there's a world where you will extend this to other interactions? Question mark.
Hmm.
What
Yeah,
about Rast or Downbeat? Are we gonna let that grab stuff?
sure.
Oh my
It's actually
god.
really easy to add it to
Oh my
moves
god.
because it just treats the article as a character as it's throwing it.
What about Atlas up air?
Yeah,
Oh my god.
sure. Why not?
Well, Rivals One had, I think, both of those through Crag Rock,
Yeah, they
if I
did.
remember correctly. Okay.
Hmm.
So there may, if we have time, we have Trevor time,
Hmm. Hmm.
before this character comes out,
Yeah,
there
I should
might
probably
be
write this down.
some additional throw article reactions. Um, You did bring up an interesting point though, because can you grab the chair with grab? And why or why not?
No, not regular grab. Because there's too many entries, like too many different interactions with that. Also, I don't think some of the pummels wouldn't really make sense. Like, how do you haymaker a chair?
Mm-hmm. Well, we talked about it. I remember my reason why I didn't want it was I wanted to make sure when you're fighting around a chair, you can just regular grab, right? Because like with Crag, for example, like the neutral B rock, now you can hold shield, but like it is difficult to, you're like, oh, I'm trying to do the command grab, but I got the rock because I was so close. I wanted to be like, you can do specials if you want to throw your chair, and you can do a special where they're between you and your chair. So if they roll, you get your chair, right? You can do forward special. That's kind of fun. But I didn't want it to be like, oh, they're standing near my chair, and now I can't like grab them because I'm at risk of grabbing my own chair.
Yeah.
So I wanted regular to grab to like be its own thing. I remember. But I also think you didn't want to hook it up either. So it was like a win-win.
Yeah. Oh no, that would be a nightmare.
Yeah, for sure.
So many weird things that could happen with that.
Yeah. All right. More questions.
Let's see. Will Forsburn smoke charge get an indicator like Locke's magma charge? I could see it.
Yeah, I guess it depends on the skin. If it's like visible, right?
Mhm.
Right now.
I think because of skins, it makes sense to add. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
wonder.
there's a few more like HUD elements that I want to add.
I guess like
Like
the 1, 2, 3 too, because right now the count on fours is completely hidden.
Yeah, you don't know if you have one or two unless you're counting.
Do you want your opponent to know? Because right now in Rivals 1,
Oh,
that is
deception.
hidden information. Your opponent will know. I'll consider it though. I could see doing a 1, 2, 3 with smoke.
Mm-hmm.
Let's try it out
Uh,
and see if we like it.
there's a question. Are you ready for this character to make people angry? And always with every character.
Yeah.
There's never a single character that doesn't get complained about in any fighting game. It's just the nature of things.
Yeah, I was gonna say plat fighters, but I think it is just any.
It's fighting games.
I think it's any competitive game, dude. I think
Yeah,
like
honestly.
MOBAs. I think any game with characters. If your character plays different, if you're not playing Nidhogg, then you're gonna complain about characters. That's just the nature of
This
the
another
beast.
question. Does Lorena have any new references to other fighting game grapplers? Yes. For sure. Specifically, the one that I guess my favorite one is the Pummel 3 where she rolls around on the ground. It's inspired by King's Rolling Death Cradle, which is I think the most iconic grab throw whatever in all of fighting games. It's so cool.
El Rey and La Reina.
She does have the John Cena jab, yeah, for
Mm-hmm.
sure. Do you know somebody suggested recently making her become more transparent the longer you hold jab?
Very, very funny.
It'd be so funny. I don't think we'll do it because it just be kind of weird, but it's so funny.
Yeah. No, yeah. No, I don't think we do it. Because like that one's so outside, right? That to me reminds me of like the ultra shaggy thing from Multiversus, where
Yeah.
like that was a core part of his kit, but it was like a meme. It's like if that fit her lore 100%, right? If she was like a ghost or something, right? She was like air and her element is ghost, I don't know. Then sure, yeah, let's do it. But because it's so removed from like her current style, I don't want to explain it. I do, and as someone who loves memes, don't get me wrong, I'm literally putting a meme onto the next mid-month skin, which is coming out very soon. I'm forcing a very old meme
Oh my
that
god.
I personally like a lot, and Trevor
It's
had
a
to
good one though.
Trevor had
It's
to
a good
code it.
reference.
I know, but it's like, damn, like why? And I'm like, because people need to remember. All right, 20. I don't even know 2013, 2014. This meme was from. It's the
Yeah.
golden days. So, but yeah, I think it is funny. I think if it was closer to her actual theme, we would probably do something like that.
Hmm.
All right. Any other good ones you see?
Hmm. Let's see.
Will you guys eventually port over the Abyss mode?
Uh,
I mean,
Personally, no.
yeah,
That was
Trevor,
a nightmare. Oh my god.
dude, the OG Abyss mode development has to be one of the, I think for me, like the worst producer thing we've done, because when Trevor first did it as a intern that I set a stipend to, we didn't have source control yet. So
Oh
you were
yeah.
like making a bunch of changes and I was merging them all by hand and like making sure they didn't break anything, which was like you
Yeah.
can't do on as big as Rivals One had already gotten by that point. It was only like a year in, and then two,
Yeah.
I was
That was
like,
funny.
Trevor, you could. I was like, here's the design. Like, I was like, you can make these runes, right? And you were like, I guess. Um, but
Yeah, and then every time you add a new character, you have to do all the runes.
yeah.
Hmm.
Well,
It's just a lot.
I remember we didn't, right? We waited to do
I
the
waited.
DLC for
Yeah.
definitive, right? That was like, but then that is why the workshop for took longer. Is like Geek had to go in and make runes for all of them. Um, I will
Oh, I forgot
say
about that.
because like roguelikes have gotten a lot more popular over time, like since we first did that. Like I think if we had Abyss mode now, the design would be different, right? It would probably
Mhm.
be like I know people don't like these if they're a hardcore roguelike fan, but like a choose three thing, right? Where you're like upgrading as you go during a run as opposed to upgrading in character select between runs.
Mhm.
I think we would also make a lot more modifiers that were less dev work. Every Abyss rune was dev work. And they were like all custom coded, and a lot of them had new art assets.
Yeah.
I think we'd have like more modifiers of like, I don't know, just like changing the way a move works or changing the way the direction it sends to make
Mhm.
interesting things. Um, I don't. We are not prioritizing like an abyss mode though. I think we would much
Mhm.
rather do a story mode first. Um, I don't know. I mean, I would like to. Maybe there's like a way you can like workshop can like experiment with that kind of stuff. The funny thing is though, I think for us, like right now, we mentioned in 2026 we want to do casual stages and items. Um, items do have a lot kind of a lot of overlap with the Abyss mode in my mind, and kind of like the new like the surprising combinations you can do and like stuff like that. But the cool thing of items is they're character agnostic, right? So it's like any character can pick up an item and throw it or activate it if it's an activated item, which to me is cool because it is a lot of work to do the Rivals One
Yeah.
Abyss mode. So
Yeah.
much work. Um, all right, Trevor, you see any other good ones?
Mm, let's see. Uh, would you ever add FD as an ether stage or casual stage only?
It's a great question. I think we would add it. I don't think it would be as a casual stage. For me, I want there to be like a casual stage list that is fun stages that you can turn on. So like as opposed kind of like ether stages and rivals, right? Where in Rivals 1, if you turn on ether stages, you pick random, you go to all the ether stages, right? You turn on basic stages, pick random, you go to all basic stages. So like for me, that's how I want it to work in Rivals 2, right? Where it's like if I turn this on, I'm going to get a subset of stages that are all casual, and they either have hazards or they go crazy or they have really big, like I don't know, Hyrule Temple. That's probably too big, but you know what I mean, like that kind of craziness. Final FD to me doesn't fit in that because it's like if I'm playing with my friends and we want to have crazy stuff, like we don't want to go to FD.
Mhm.
I think if we had FD in the game, it would like exist outside of both of those, and it would be like somewhere where you could, if you had an option to turn on all stages, right? So you can choose between both um, basic or not basic, regular stages, casual stages, and any leftovers, right? Like you could go to the double stage. I think FD would
Mhm.
be there, right? And it would also be there if you want to use it in training. So if we did an FD, I think that's how it would appear at first. It would just be in character select, but it would be outside of both casual and competitive. It would just be like an extra stage. Um, I think we could add one with like
Mhm.
just the training stage or something. Like there's no reason not to put it in and let people play on it, but we're not planning it to be. Are you thinking
Yeah.
it'll ever show up in the competitive stage list, Trevor?
Not as a standalone stage, no. I just think the gameplay that it encourages not really as interesting as any other stage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've talked about it being a piece of a stage in like a
Mhm.
moving platform layout where like platform goes into the stage, it goes away, right, and you get
Mhm.
like so many seconds of FD and then it comes back out, which honestly is not that different from something how Ethereum Forest plays, where when the
Yeah.
platform's like
Yeah,
really
that's true.
high, it feels a little bit like an FD for a little bit, like a thin one.
Mhm.
Um, we have talked about that. I feel like that's the highest likelihood of it making a competitive list is if it's a piece of a rotating stage or a stage with platform layout changes. Um, but no, it's not planned. That's the funny thing. It would have to exist outside of both competitive and casual for it to make it. And in that regard, I think
Yeah.
we could maybe come up with a way to drop it in the game soon.
Yeah,
Just like let
because
people play
it
on
is
it.
pretty useful for like training at least.
Yeah, testing things too.
Mhm.
Yeah. All right, we got time for like, I think one more question.
Okay.
Last question. Make it a good one. Um, I'm seeing some, but I don't know if I have anyone for the last one.
Uh, all right. Would it be possible to have preset loadouts for characters, specifically in solo crews, because they want to use different control layouts for different characters?
Yeah, I know
Yeah.
we talked about this when Cruise was first coming up with Cruise. We were like, what about people who
Yeah.
use different controls for different characters? It's really Raster's fault. What did we say? I know we had like a long-term solution that we were like, we can try do
Yeah.
this, but
It's more of when we'll get to it because we definitely want to add it because, people, I think it's pretty common to have different control schemes for different characters. Like, I know you like tilt stick on Maple and then don't like it on
yeah, I just don't play Orcane right now.
Mhm.
As opposed to
Yeah.
like making a new control.
But I
Um,
think the inner workings of that and the UI for it would take some time to iron out.
yeah, there's two kind of things you can do. All right. So there's the first, which would be the simplest, but then also kind of be annoying to work with, is in Cruise, you let people pick a tag for each choice
Mhm.
and like assign it. That one works. But then it's still requiring, like, hey, when I change characters, I change tags. The other thing is you go into the options and you like are able to flag controls for characters,
Yeah.
and then your
I
tag
think
can
I think
be
that's the one I like.
that one's better long term because someone like me, if I could flag Orcane to use strong stick, then I would
Mhm.
probably play Orcane more. Because right now I don't even play him outside of Cruise because I don't feel like turning my tag on and off. I
Yeah.
just like stop
I think that would be nice
playing
just
him.
specifically because it's useful outside of cruise.
Yeah, but then that it's like that sub menu is not built for that right now, and then there's a lot of characters, right? So it's like it's a can of worms to like open up that UI,
Yeah.
and then even the logic, right, of like storing it, right, like that's actually the logic of storing is not too bad because it's an opt-in, right, so like by default, it would only go on
Mhm.
characters you change, but
Yeah.
the UI is the big part.
I know the UI is the tough one on that.
I think we want to have a solution for it eventually, but
Mhm.
it'll probably be some time. I did see one other one that I wanted to answer as well. All right. Somebody said, since the cool thing about items in Smash is that they're from the games of the characters, how would you make items themselves interesting? Trevor, you got an answer for that because I think I want to.
No, you go for it.
Yeah,
You
so
got
with
it.
that, there's two kind of things we're pulling from. One we knew we would pull from, and the other one we stumbled upon. So the first one is Dungeons of Ether. Dungeons of Ether has a ton of items, and some of them are good to pull in as like generic. Well, some of them are generic, and it's easy, right? I think Dungeons of Ether has like a bomb, for example. So it's like, okay, well, it's like, well, you're gonna spawn an item, you spawn a bomb, and it can KO, right?
Yeah.
But it also has like other stuff, right? That we can pull from. So that's like the first inspiration is like Dungeons of Ether items. The second one, which we stumbled upon because we were like, how do we reduce the developer work, is repurposing character kits around items or taking character mechanics, putting them on an item. And what it also does is it gives characters access to other characters' mechanics that they wouldn't have. So there's a lot of ones you can imagine, but like the simplest one, or not simplest one, but an easy one is like an item like like a bubble. You throw it at them and it Rhino bubbles them. And I think the note we have is it's 4 stacks automatically. So they just get stuck in a bubble for a while and you get to combo them. So like,
Yeah.
as Zetter, for example, how often are you comboing someone in a bubble? Not very often. But now an item spawns, you throw them in a bubble, you get to combo them. So like that creates a new interaction. The moment we thought of that, right, we're like, there's a lot of mechanics, right? Throw an item that wraps somebody, right? I think one that I have that we will probably do, so spoilers, is it's a item, it's on stage. A lot of items you pick them up and throw because that's what we're designing first. I think we've even said it. Like we're not
Mhm.
doing what do they call them in Smash? Like the blunt weapons or whatever, or like the hell
Like the
the
swingables.
swing. We're not doing swingables at launch. So most of them are throw, but we're also going to do a couple that are pick up and activate. So instead of throwing it, once you pick it up, it just does something. That would be like it can heal you or whatever. The one that I like is you pick it up and it just starts an ABSA down special on you. That's yours, right? So then it's like, okay, well, as Maple, I've never had an ABSA down special on me. That sounds super sick. Like, what can I do? What's a good way to like lock someone in place as Maple? Because I don't have like the ABSA down strong, for example, to like keep somebody locked in. Um, that's why I was saying like when someone brought up abyss mode, I was like, I feel like items kind of do that a little bit because you get to see these interactions in ways that you wouldn't have. um so those two give us a lot of options. So the first is dungeons, right? Just looking at that and seeing how we would translate that into a platform fighter. And the second is let's take character specific mechanics and just put them on items. uh,
Mhm.
and we already have the character specific mechanics, so some of these are going to be pretty quick to program. Some will probably actually be harder than we think because of edge
Yeah.
cases. Um, but yeah, that's the item answer. And with that, another successful developer stream. Any final words, Trevor? Lorena, anything else?
Mm, y'all aren't ready for Lorena. That's all I gotta say.
Here's a question. So Olympia was very popular, but I think she did get. It's funny. I feel like she got a good amount of hate right at launch. Then she had that initial wave of nerfs, and then it was actually kind of quiet on her. I feel like until Evo, right? And she had a good top 8, and then there was Olympia rumblings again.
It's, yeah, it's generally how it goes.
Do you
Yeah.
think Lorena will see the same level of like people like I think we mentioned it, I think she'll be popular, but do you think she'll see as much reaction, or do you think she'll be more liked than someone like Olympia, or like to play against
Hmm.
than someone like Olympia?
Ooh, that's tough. I think so because Olympia has that play style that's it's just kind of hard to deal with because it's so fast and like just a lot of things are happening all at once. Um, Whereas Lorena, you could kind of tell what's happening. It's slower paced,
Hmm.
and I think that helps a little bit. I still people are still gonna hate her because people hate every character ever that's ever come out. Um,
Yeah, as a
I don't.
Maple player, like I other than the projectile Galvin is fine to play against. Like I have no issues playing against Galvin. Absa depends on the player.
Mhm.
Olympia, it really is the shield pressure and like the frame data, right? Like so many people say she's quote unquote mashy, and like what they mean is like she has small gaps to
Mhm.
punish is what they're reacting to. And like the thing is, there are gaps there, and you can punish. It's just like, especially as a new player, it's really hard to learn the timing.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And yeah, you're right. Lorena does not have that. Right, everything is a lot
No,
more visible.
I
Um,
think they're gonna hate her as soon as they get hit with Special Pummel 3, and then, but then they'll fall in love after that, maybe.
I just hope they play her. I think she'll be a popular one to play as. I remember
Yeah.
like in Rivals One at least, like Jamie making us all play Lorena Dittos. That carried over a little bit into Rivals 2. Like I think Lorena Dittos are really fun. Um,
Hmm.
so
I
we'll
think
see.
that's still true.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you everyone. We'll see you next week. I forget what the topic is. I think it might be an open one, so we might do some more dev crew battles next week.
Cruise
Maybe we'll get Ben and Jamie back. That's been my normal. We actually played some games last night, the three of us, but maybe we'll
at 2
try.
a.m.
A little before that. I think it was midnight Pacific time. So yeah, it was like past 2 a.m. Eastern time where they are. Um,
Hmm.
but maybe we'll try to get someone else in, or maybe we'll do our normal run back, and then you guys can play against us. So we'll see you then. Thanks, Trevor, for
Yeah.
helping us out with Love Reina's behind the scenes design stream.
Hmm.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.